You are sitting at a trendy brunch spot. You reach for that little glass shaker. You sprinkle white dust over your eggs. You do it without a single thought. It is just a habit of modern life. But that white powder is a biological miracle. Your heart literally cannot beat without it. Your nerves cannot send messages to your brain. Every muscle contraction depends on those tiny crystals. Sodium is the electricity of your organic machine. Today we consume it in massive, lethal quantities. We worry about blood pressure and heart health, but rewind the clock 40,000 years. Imagine standing in a silent, ancient forest. There are no grocery stores for miles. There are no salt mines in sight. There is no shaker on a wooden table. Your body still needs that sodium to function. If you find that thought absolutely terrifying, subscribe now. We explore the weird reality of being human. How did our ancestors survive the ultimate drought? How did they live without the world's favorite spice? Common wisdom says they must have been miserable. We imagine them as weak and sodium-starved. Picture them licking rocks in desperation. This is a massive historical misunderstanding. Our ancestors were not struggling to find salt. They were actually swimming in it every day. Their environment provided everything they required naturally. The modern salt shaker is a recent invention. It is a tool for a broken diet. To understand this, we must look at chemistry. The sodium-potassium pump is the core mechanism. It allows every single nerve to fire correctly, keeps your blood volume at safe levels. Early humans required very little for basic survival. Between 200 and 500 milligrams daily. That is a tiny fraction of a teaspoon. Today, the average person eats nearly 7 times that. We are drowning in a sea of sodium. But in the ancient world, sodium was scarce. Early humans handled this with incredible biological efficiency. The human kidney is a masterpiece of conservation. It was designed for a world of scarcity. In ancient environments, humans who conserved salt survived. Their kidneys filtered and reabsorbed every possible grain. Unless they were sweating in a deep desert, they could thrive on almost nothing for weeks. But they did not have to survive on nothing. They had a secret weapon in their diet. That weapon was the animal they just hunted. For most of history, food was the salt. Hunter-gatherers did not need to season their meat. Wild game is a natural warehouse of sodium. Muscle tissue contains a high concentration of minerals. Organ meats are even denser with essential electrolytes. A single day of eating wild meat provided plenty. Most hunters consumed nearly 1,000 milligrams daily, so that is double the amount needed for survival. They were not deficient in the slightest sense. They were perfectly balanced by their natural environment. They also utilized every part of the animal. Animal blood was a vital source of hydration. Blood is naturally rich in various essential salts. Indigenous groups like the Maasai still understand this. They consume blood to stay hydrated and energized. It is nature's original electrolyte sports drink. Ancient humans also watched the animals around them. They followed deer to natural mineral deposits. These are known as salt licks in nature. They were the ancient world's first mineral pharmacies. Even far from the ocean, salt was available. You just had to know where to look. But then something massive changed for our species. 10,000 years ago, we invented the plow. We stopped chasing the herds and started planting. The agricultural revolution changed the human chemistry forever.
Ow.
This was the birth of the salt crisis. Grains and tubers became the primary food source. Wheat and rice are very high in potassium, but they are tragically low in natural sodium. This created a massive gap in human nutrition. Farmers were suddenly starving for a single mineral. Their bodies were screaming for a chemical balance. Cooking also made the problem much worse. Boiling vegetables leaches out the few minerals present. Water takes the salt and leaves mush. Ancient farmers began to feel the physical toll. Cramps and fatigue became the new daily reality. This is why we developed a salt appetite. Our brains started to crave that salty taste. It was a survival signal for a failing diet. We had to invent a way to get it. Humans became engineers of the mineral world. In Romania, archaeologists found something truly incredible. At a site called Poiana Slatin, evidence exists. Humans were boiling spring water in 6000 BCE. They were not making soup for the family. They were extracting salt from natural brine springs. They used massive fires to evaporate the water. They left behind thick crusts of white gold. In Bulgaria, the town of Solnitsata was born. It was a literal salt fortress built for protection. They produced massive salt bricks for regional trade. These bricks were the first form of currency. If you had the salt, you had power. You could preserve meat for a long winter. You could feed an army across a desert. Salt allowed humans to travel further than ever. It was the battery of the ancient world. In the Austrian Alps, the Hallstatt mines opened. Miners used bronze picks to strike the earth. They tunneled deep into the dark mountain heart. They were looking for the white gold veins. This was dangerous and grueling physical labor, but the reward was worth the massive risk. Salt became the most valuable commodity on earth. It built the roads that connected the world. In Italy, the Via Salaria was a lifeline. It was the salt road leading straight to Rome. Roman soldiers were often paid in salt money. This is where we get the word salary. A soldier who was not worth his salt failed. Empires rose and fell based on salt access. If you controlled the salt, you controlled life. The Chinese used salt taxes to build walls. The British used salt monopolies to control India. What was once a natural nutrient became political. It was transformed into a tool of state power. It is hard to imagine a rock being gold. But salt was the foundation of our civilization. Without it, we could never have left hunting. Without it, we could not have stored food. We would have remained tied to the herds. Our modern obsession with salt is a memory. It is a ghost of that first agricultural shift. Your brain still thinks you are a farmer. It thinks you are low on vital electrolytes. It ignores the bag of chips in your lap. It only remembers the ancient mineral deficiency. We are survivors of a 10,000-year-old crisis. Our bodies are still trying to bridge the gap. We treat salt like a flavor or spice, but our ancestors treated it like a prayer. So it was the difference between life and death. It was the fuel for the human expansion. Next time you use that little glass shaker, take a moment to look at the crystals. Think about the miners in the dark mountains. Think about the boiling springs in ancient Romania. Think about the Roman soldiers on the road. You are holding the history of human survival. You're holding the engine of our progress. Our ancestors were brilliant masters of their world. They found what they needed in the wild. They engineered what they lacked in the fields. They were never primitive or simple or weak. They were the ultimate chemists of the earth. You were the result of their incredible ingenuity. You are not malfunctioning when you crave salt. You are just remembering an ancient human struggle. You are part of a very long lineage. We're the people who learned to survive. We are the people who conquered the mineral. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, make sure to like this video for more. Comment below with your favorite ancient survival fact. Share this with someone who loves salty snacks. Hit the bell so you never miss history. Your support keeps this ancient fire burning bright. Stay curious about the world around you today. Remember that every habit has a deep root. We're just humans tracing our own steps. Thank you for watching the human story unfold. We will see you in the next exploration. Till then, keep looking for the ancient traces. History is hidden in every single grain. Survival is the thread that binds us all. From the forest to the modern brunch table, we are still the same resilient human species, just have better ways to season life. Our ancestors did the hard work for us. We carry their wisdom in our very cells. We carry their salt in our veins. That is the true legacy of white gold. But it is the taste of our own endurance. It is the flavor of the human journey. Every pinch of salt is a silent victory. Every meal is a tribute to the past. We have come a very long way. From the salt lick to the salt road. From the brine spring to the grocery store, our ancestors are proud of your survival. They are watching through the lens of time. They see you reach for that little shaker, and they know exactly why you do it. They felt the same urge long ago. They built a world to satisfy that need. You are the beneficiary of their hard work. Take a breath and appreciate the white dust. It is more than just a seasoning today. It is the mineral that made us human. It is the crystal that built the world. We are the salt of the earth, literally and figuratively through the long ages. Keep exploring the depths of our history. There is so much more to discover here. The trace of humanity is everywhere you look. You just have to know the science. You just have to hear the story. And we are here to tell it all. Every week we bring the past back. Every week we bridge the ancient gap. Well, welcome to the tribe of the curious. We are glad you are finally here now. Stay salted and stay ready for more. The journey has only just begun today. We have miles to go on this road. It's just like the soldiers on the Via Salaria. We are marching toward a better understanding. One grain of truth at a time, one story at a time for the world. This is your history and your heritage. This is the trace of the human soul. See you in the next ancient world. Be brave and be well until then. The forest is quiet, but we remember. The shaker is full, and we survive. That is the beauty of our species. That is the power of our past. Goodbye for now, from the human trace.